This is hard to talk about. I'm all discombobulated in my head.
No, I know. It's like, how much do we, and not that part and the thing. Well, it's always an event when there's a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and this certainly ranks among one of his most provocative and certain to be talked about films. It's one battle after another. The embargo just lifted. We are giving you a non-spoiler review, but we are planning to come back live on September 30th to do a spoiler chat, and we hope you'll join us for that so we can really get into it. But we're going to do our best to talk about the movie without giving away the movie.
The message is clear.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the trickier ones here for us because, as I mentioned in our Out of the Theater reaction, the trailer for this film does a great job of not in any way letting you know what actually happens in this movie. There is so much more to it. There is so much more story there, so many paths it goes down, sometimes literally. And I just want you to enjoy what we enjoyed, which is knowing pretty much nothing. You should see it. So I can tell you that much. You should see it. Subscribe and hang out. We are big fans of Paul Thomas Anderson around here. And so we were excited about this and we're excited to come and tell you about it as well. So we can say this much. Leonardo DiCaprio and Teyana Taylor star as revolutionaries in love. And it is one of the unusual contemporary Paul Thomas Anderson films. The year is not specified, but it is now-ish. They're domestic terrorists. They cause trouble. They are disrupting things. They are trying to free people who have been imprisoned. Liberating is the word I'm looking for. Thank you. They're trying to liberate people who have
refugee camps.
Refugee camps. Thank you very much. You should be doing this. You're doing better than I am. This is hard to talk about. I'm all discombobulated in my head.
No, I know. It's like, how much do we, and not that part and the thing. Yeah, no.
They're in love. It's passionate. They have a baby. And it jumps forward in time. And that baby is played by Chase Infiniti in her big screen debut. She's their 16-year-old daughter. And she's amazing. This is her first film. You would never know it. So it is basically about people chasing after each other to either fight for their causes or secure certain things and control certain things. I'm making this sound very vague. I can tell you that this features an incredible Sean Penn performance. Everyone in this is great. Yeah. And you should see it because it is such a reflection of what is happening in our country right now in terms of who is in control and the length to which people feel they need to go to penetrate and erode that power when it is inhumane and unjust. How's that?
Yes. It is about all of those things and more.
Yeah, I love the Johnny Greenwood score. He has done the score for a couple of Paul Thomas Anderson films now. He did the score for There Will Be Blood. Right. And there's a similar kind of like unsettling kind of percussive dissonance that he achieved. And there's a repetition to certain themes and it builds and it builds and it builds. And there's a whole segment, there's various chases here. But there's a whole segment where like this one kind of rhythm, this one kind of melody gets played over and over again and you get so sucked in. I say the whole back half of this, at least the last third of it, is pretty much a nonstop chase. And it's thrilling and it's tense and it is surprising.
It is. I will say, I think there were some times during some of those chases where I was like the film started to feel a little slack, whereas up until that point, I think it's just like things are happening and people are encountering other situations and complications. And it felt it was very, I was breathless with keeping up with all of it. And then when it becomes like this person is pursuing that person while this person is pursuing this other person, there were moments where I kind of thought it felt like it was starting to really live up to the title, where it was kind of like, could we, but that doesn't last long. And we're very quickly thrown into something else that's really compelling. And I think I only noticed it so much because the rest of the film up until that point is so taut, and unpredictable, certainly, which it remains throughout. Yeah. This is a movie in which like the bomb throwing radicals are the good guys, and that's going to upset some people. But I think that, Anderson is very unflinchingly looking at where this country is right now and how we got here and what's keeping us here and what maybe the realistic ways of trying to move past it might be. The movie doesn't come out and endorse any course of action necessarily, but I think it makes it very clear who the villains are and what motivates them. And that alone, I'm sure, is going to lead to any number of, pearl clutching Wall Street Journal op-eds, and I'm sure he welcomes that.
I think a lot of people are going to try to oversimplify what is happening in this film.
Definitely.
And not necessarily within the context of cultural appreciation or criticism.
Right.
This is based on a Thomas Pynchon novel called Vineland, which I have not read, but from what I understand and reading about Vineland, this is a kind of a departure. It's not exactly that book at all. It has some
inspired
qualities.
by is what the credits say. So yeah.
But PTA wrote and directed this, and he's not credited as a cinematographer. Michael Bauman is, but it is the two of them working together as they did in Licorice Pizza. This is shot on VistaVision.
Yes.
Which explain that. That's different.
So VistaVision, most recently used in The Brutalist, which won Lol Crawley an Oscar for cinematography. It's a widescreen process that was originally developed in the 50s, where the film runs through the camera horizontally rather than vertically. So you can basically gauge for yourself how wide you want that image to be. In this case, it's not anamorphic. I mean, it's practically standard 1:8:5 ratio. I'm guessing, just based on eyeballing it. This is not like a big wide, cinemascopy kind of movie, but it is crisp. I think there's a lot of depth of field here that Anderson, takes advantage of in a lot of ways. And, it is a movie that knows how to, I think the editing is really spot on here in that you get these moments that are about character relationships up next to these moments of sort of political trauma and people not just being chased but fleeing other people, and the way that they are able to sort of gauge those tones is really brilliant.
The use of the VistaVision for me, where it was the most striking, was in the lush use of color. There's like a deep kind of texture and like a lushness to the color, and even like a simple wide shot of here's the desert, here's a person, it looks grand. It looks imposing. Just a very simple shot of a young woman sitting at a table, just the way it's framed. There's not a lot going on in that shot, but you can feel a great deal of emotion and tension in what is happening there. And I think it's because of the way it was shot. There are some shots here that recall There Will Be Blood. In terms of the use of depth of field. There's anyway, I can't say what happens in this shot. This is very difficult for me, but I knew when I saw it.
There's a car chase here that I think uses the camera in a way that I really hadn't seen before, that I found extraordinary. Because in the year 2025, if you're giving me a car chase that I feel like I haven't seen before, then kudos.
Because it's not even like you're in the car. It's not even like you're on the hood. It's like you're the front bumper.
Yeah.
You are the bumper, and you are in it in ways that are thrilling. Might give you some motion sickness if that's a problem for you. We got to discuss performances. It's a thrilling and terrifying Sean Penn performance because it evolves. I think at first with a lot of these characters, it seems like a farce. It seems almost like Inherent Vice, in that these are kind of buffoonish people trying to function and accomplish things.
Yeah, the Sean Penn character's name is Lockjaw, for God's sake.
Stephen Lockjaw. And it is so detailed, this work he's doing here, but also eventually imposing. And it's an interesting contrast with what he did in Licorice Pizza, where he's all bravado and charisma.
Well, it's funny because in that movie he's playing William Holden, and in this movie I was kind of reminded of late period William Holden, I think the two of them went through this similar evolution where they were kind of the hot young, and then they became this sort of elder statesman type, and he is playing with that with his own kind of personal brand of gravitas in a way that's really frightening at times and off-putting. And I'm impressed with Sean Penn all over again.
Leo like subsumes himself to the role.
Yeah.
Like I think he is like, it's been a long time since he's been interested in being, pretty golden boy, Titanic Leo, Great Gatsby Leo. As he gets older, go ahead.
No. I agree with that. I think he's like the Revenant. He's running from that as fast as he can. And
the Revenant. I think like he picks like weirder and more dangerous roles all the time, and that's very exciting to see him use his celebrity in that way, because he's called upon to do a lot here. He has to be funny, but he also has to be physical, and there's emotional depth from him here. There's
he is at times sort of just drained and seemingly like without having lost a sort of will. But I think, the comedy here, I think this is the funniest he's probably gotten to be in a movie since like Wolf of Wall Street. And there's a similar kind of fearlessness in the physicality at times, I think, where he just is going for it in a way that's really great.
Right. Where it's funny, but then there are real stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The physical comedy comes from like, the real stakes of what he's trying to pull off here. And Teyana Taylor was amazing in 1001 and great here too. Just ferocious, charismatic, so commanding, so fun to watch her do her thing here. And she and Leo have a nice fun chemistry with each other. That's again, like intense.
Yeah. And it's like, it's an ensemble piece, but she's playing a character that is very essential in terms of like making a strong impression on other characters and on the audience. And she's able to do that very quickly. Like she has that kind of on camera presence where she just very immediately like, okay, you're locked in. It makes sense that you are this much of a plot motor because you matter that much,
Yeah. Anyway, it's great. I've seen a lot of hyperbolic praise about this. Like it's the best PTA ever. It's a masterpiece. It's the best movie of the year. It is not my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I like so much about it. Performances and the craft perspective, the pacing, just the sprawl of it, the ambition of it, the tonal balance of it. But I still love Phantom Thread more. I still love There'll Be Blood more.
Yeah.
Probably also Boogie Nights.
And Licorice Pizza probably are top of my list. But, again, because some of the pre-release hype has been so hyperbolic, it feels weird being like, it's merely great, y'all,
Okay, well, I think this is a good place for us to stop with this, but we will go more into it. It'll be noon Pacific on September 30th. That's a Tuesday, so come on back in a couple of weeks when you've seen it. But for now, what is your number on One Battle After Another?
I will say a 9.1.
Ooh, wow. Okay, that's higher than I thought you were going to say.
What about you?
I agree. I'm right around there. I'm like a 9. I think it gets a little slow in the middle, but it picks right back up again.
Like tiny. There is a little slack in there, but I think the rest of it is so great that you're kind of like, okay, we'll get through this part, and everything else is going to be dynamite.
All right, we know you're excited about this. Will you see it? Let us know.